Once upon a time, hiding in the wings off stage at the Marius von Drack concert, Anne Nightingale, vampire hunter, massaged her wood stake rocket launcher at her hip, ready to attack at the predetermined time. Missing her own feeding time, Nightingale began to shake as the stage lit up and on cue signaled her that it was time to sink the 10-inch wood stake into the lead singer, who would be center stage as he was every show at this time. Now, Nightingale yelled to her team, and the power to the amps was cut off. She and 3 other vampire-hunting mercenaries rushed the stage, fending off anyone who would get in Nightingale's way. She dropped to one knee, brandished the weapon upon her shoulder, and took aim. The missile guidance would take over as soon as the electronics locked onto Von Drack, and she fired. Only the lights confused the gun, and the guided stake flew past the vampire and struck the bass player in the neck. His head was severed and landed on the stage with a thump, and he fell to the ground in a heap. This is her story. In the basement of the auditorium, Nightingale was led to an interrogation room. She was cuffed and stuffed into a chair, sitting across from the very vampire she set out to kill. Eddie was only 27, Von Drack said. He had a baby mama and 2 kids he was paying child support. And now he's dead, thanks to you, Drack said, leaning back in his chair, smoking a long, thin pipe like the vampire model he was. I'll send him a card, Nightingale replied in the manner of a snark. Why are you so bent on ending my life? The vampire asked. A better question is, why are you interrogating me? You're not a cop. No, but I own the mayor and he lets me do as I wish, and right now I wish to know your motives before I end your life. You're a fucking blood-sucking walk the earth as a dead guy, parasite plague that needs to be exterminated. Yes, I know that already, but why you? Did I turn one of your loved ones into the living dead? Von Drack asked. You turned me, you asshole. Don't you know a vampire when you see one? Nightingale yelled. If she weren't restrained, she would have jumped over the table and strangled Von Drack with her bare hands. I did that to you? Von Black asked. How soon I forget. I was 15 at the time, a counselor at Bible camp. You snuck into my cabin and attacked me and my 3 cabin mates. They ended up broken and battered. You just drained my blood and left me for dead. Von Drack nodded his head as he recalled the incident. They invited me to entertain that night. I conjured up some lame-ass magic show, and that gave me the excuse to survey my potential victims and plan my attack. They paid me $150 for the show. Fuck, that had to be at least 10 years ago. 8, but who's counting? And you took it upon yourself to get vengeance all these years later. What a pity. Who are your friends that you brought with you? Certainly I didn't turn them as well. Like-minded friends of mine, Nightingale replied. We sort of turned my obsession into a club. A club? How nice, Von Drack said, with a patronizing grin. How did you come up with such an elaborate weapon, your stake missile gun? I bought it mostly as is. I wasn't interested in reinventing the wheel. I just modified it to shoot wood stakes instead of warplanes. Did you bother to test it out? You seem to have failed miserably. My bass player could testify to that, if he still had his head. It's not easy to run a mock attack inside a basketball arena. Nobody would give us the keys. Funny. You are so funny, Miss Vampire Killer, Von Drack said, waving his hands like he was swatting flies. But I do admire your spunk. You could have tried anywhere but chose to kill me at the best part at the end of my show. I've been to your last 3 concerts, and we staked out the best places to attack. The end was when the lights were brightest, so the guidance system could lock on to the target. So why kill Robert? I thought I was your target. Von Drack asked. You were, and still are, Nightingale said with a grin. She spat out a black plastic pin from her mouth and said, Listen, do you hear that? Hear what? The bombs strapped to my belt. The one counting down from 10. Von Drack's expression changed as he listened to the faint ticking coming from the lady vampire killer sitting across the table. You couldn't have anticipated that we would be in this room together. Why would you bring a bomb? Better question is, why didn't your cronies check me for one? Nightingale replied and blew the room to bits.